Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to rise above the noise of the world and carve out your own path to success, there's one thing you must master: discipline. Self-discipline is not just a skill or a habit, it is the foundation upon which every other achievement rests. Without it, you're left at the mercy of the distractions and impulses that surround us, drifting aimlessly. But when you discipline yourself, you gain control not just over your actions, but over your destiny. Let me be clear, life is chaos. You are living in an environment where things are constantly pulling you in 100 directions. It's easy to get lost, to lose your way. But here's the truth: without discipline, you will be swept away by the tide. Discipline is the force that gives you the clarity and structure to face that chaos head on and transform it into something purposeful. And the first step: you must have clear goals. Without direction, you're wandering in the dark, and trust me, darkness is heavy. Discipline isn't just about following rules, it's about committing to a goal that you've chosen for yourself. Something that matters to you. You must set a course for where you want to go and be unwavering in your commitment to reach it. But here's the catch: discipline is not a fairy tale. Resistance is real. You will face internal battles. The temptation to procrastinate, to give in to comfort, will haunt you at every step. But this resistance is not your enemy, it's the test. It's the price of growth. Every time you push past the discomfort, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable. That's the cost of building your character. And it's not about giant leaps. It's about daily habits, the small, seemingly insignificant actions you take each day that compound over time. Discipline is like planting a seed. You don't see the growth immediately. But if you water it every day, the results are inevitable. Small actions, repeated consistently, lead to profound transformation. It's the mundane, daily grind that shapes the extraordinary. But let me challenge you to take responsibility. Don't blame others. Don't make excuses when things go wrong, and they will own your part in it. The moment you take responsibility for your actions, you reclaim your power. It's easy to point fingers. It's much harder to look inward and say, I could have done better. But it's in that moment of honesty that true discipline is born. Discipline also requires endurance. The world will tell you that success is instant, that rewards come quickly. But don't fall for it. True discipline is about patience. It's about keeping your focus even when the results seem far off. It's about continuing to do what you know is right, even when no one is watching, even when you feel like giving up. And the reward? Oh, the reward is freedom. Freedom that comes from knowing that you are in control, that you can trust yourself to do what needs to be done. When you discipline yourself, you are not shackling yourself, you are liberating yourself. You give yourself the gift of confidence, of pride in your work, and of the satisfaction that only comes from the pursuit of something greater than the momentary pleasure of indulgence. So I ask you today, discipline yourself. Be ruthless with your time. Be honest with yourself. Strive for growth, not comfort. When you do, you will find that the chaos of life becomes less intimidating. You will stand taller, more assured, and more capable. You will find a deeper sense of purpose and direction. And in that, you will experience the true reward of self-discipline, a life lived with meaning. Self-discipline is a concept that is often misunderstood. We think of it as something rigid, something restrictive, but in reality, self-discipline is the very thing that sets you free. It is the key to unlocking your potential and creating the life you desire. You see, discipline is not a punishment, it's the pathway to control, to power over your own choices. It's the ability to rise above the distractions, the temptations, the short-term pleasures that constantly pull at us. It's the capacity to make decisions that align with your higher purpose rather than succumbing to the noise of the moment. When you discipline yourself, you are taking control of the narrative of your life. You stop being a passive participant, simply reacting to what happens to you. Instead, you become the author of your own story, making deliberate choices about how you spend your time, your energy, and your focus. Without discipline, we are at the mercy of the world, buffeted by external forces. But when you take command of yourself, when you decide to act with purpose, you become unstoppable. It's easy to think that we can rely on motivation to carry us forward. And yes, motivation can spark a fire, but it is discipline that keeps the fire burning long after the initial excitement fades. Motivation is fleeting, it comes and goes, and it cannot be trusted. Discipline, however, is steadfast. It's that quiet, unwavering commitment to show up every single day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of the obstacles in your way. It's the willingness to do what needs to be done, not because it's easy or comfortable, but because it's necessary for your growth. Discipline is what allows you to push through the discomfort, the boredom, the times when you'd rather quit. It is in these moments when you choose to keep going that you build character. You build strength. You build a life that reflects your values, not your whims. Think about it. Everything worth achieving in life requires effort. No great success was ever born from a moment of laziness or indulgence. Every achievement, every victory, every breakthrough is the result of consistent effort, of decisions made day after day that align with your long-term vision. It's in the small choices, the little moments of discipline, that your true power emerges. When you choose self-discipline, you choose to respect yourself. You choose to honor your time and your potential. You say, I believe in my future enough to do the hard work now, to make the sacrifices today. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. It doesn't matter if you're not seeing immediate results. The work you put in, the habits you form, the discipline you maintain, these things build momentum. And over time, you'll look back and realize that those small, seemingly insignificant decisions were the building blocks of your success. Self-discipline is about more than just accomplishing tasks. It's about shaping your identity. It's about proving to yourself that you can be trusted. When you discipline yourself, you build self-respect. And with that respect comes confidence, the kind of confidence that comes not from external validation, but from knowing deep down that you are capable, that you can rely on yourself to make the right choices. It's the quiet strength that emerges from the inside, from the knowledge that you are in control. And that is a power that no one can take from you. Life, as we all know, is full of chaos. It's messy, unpredictable, and often overwhelming. The world constantly bombards us with noise, expectations, responsibilities, distractions, and pressures from every direction. It can feel as though we're standing at the center of a storm, and the harder we try to move forward, the more we're pushed back. But here's the truth. It's precisely in the midst of that chaos that we find our greatest opportunities for growth. Chaos, by its very nature, is disorienting. It leaves us feeling lost, uncertain, and out of control. We often look at the chaos around us and think, how can I ever make sense of this? How can I possibly navigate this maze? The answer lies in your ability to bring order to it, to face the storm, not by fleeing from it or pretending it doesn't exist, but by organizing it, by imposing a structure upon it that allows you to move forward with purpose. When you choose to face the chaos head on, when you choose to discipline yourself in the face of it, something extraordinary happens. You stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop being swept away by the current of life. Instead, you become the one who stands firm, the one who finds a way through the turmoil, because you've learned to control your own mind, your own responses, and your own actions. The chaos is always going to be there. It's in the clutter of daily tasks, the endless demands on your time, the unexpected challenges that pop up out of nowhere. But chaos is not your enemy. It's a test. It's a challenge that asks, how badly do you want to shape your life? How much are you willing to fight for your vision? And in this, chaos becomes the perfect forge for strength. You can choose to cower in fear of it, or you can step into it and use it to sharpen your mind, your will, and your character. It's easy to be overwhelmed by everything that needs to be done, the noise of the world pressing in on all sides. But here's what discipline gives you: a framework. It gives you a way to cut through the noise, to focus on what truly matters. When you have discipline, you stop trying to control everything. Instead, you focus on controlling yourself, your actions, your priorities, your responses. You stop letting the chaos control you. You take ownership of your time, your energy, and your focus. You must realize that chaos is not something to be feared, it's something to be navigated. It's in the midst of the mess that we discover who we truly are, what we're made of. The world isn't going to slow down for you to catch your breath. The challenges are going to keep coming, the distractions will always be there, but if you choose to face them with discipline, with purpose, and with intention, you will find that you can thrive in the very environment that once seemed impossible to handle. The key is to bring order to the chaos in your own life. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to have everything figured out. What you need is the courage to take the first step, to face the storm with clarity, and to trust in your own ability to overcome. As you do, you'll find that the chaos around you becomes less daunting. It becomes something that can be harnessed, something that can be used to propel you forward, rather than something that holds you back. So embrace the chaos, because in the chaos lies. Resistance is something every one of us faces. It's that inner voice, the one that whispers, not today or maybe tomorrow. It's the pull toward comfort, the desire to avoid the hard work, the pressure, the discomfort that change requires. It's a natural part of being human. But here's the reality, that resistance is not something that works against you. It's something that works for you if you can learn to overcome it. It's the greatest test of your resolve, the greatest measure of your commitment to your goals. You see, resistance is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. In fact, it's often the opposite. The harder the resistance, the greater the reward waiting on the other side. When you choose the path of least resistance, you may find temporary relief, but in the long run, you're shortchanging your potential. Every time you choose comfort over effort, ease over discipline, you're denying yourself the opportunity to become the person you are capable of being. And yet we are all tempted to fall into that trap. It's easy to convince ourselves that we deserve a break, that we'll start tomorrow, that we'll push through when we feel like it. But let me ask you this: when does the resistance stop? When does it ever get easier? It won't. The resistance is always there, waiting to test you. And the longer you delay, the stronger it becomes. But when you face it head on, when you push past the fear, the doubt, the desire to quit, that's when the magic happens. That's when you build the strength that will carry you through the next challenge and the one after that. Overcoming resistance is not about brute force. It's not about trying to fight your way through every obstacle with sheer willpower. It's about understanding that resistance is a signal. It's showing you that you are on the verge of growth. When you feel resistance, it means you are moving in the right direction. Growth never comes from playing it safe, from staying in the comfort zone where everything is predictable. Growth comes when you stretch yourself, when you do what feels uncomfortable, when you face that voice in your head that tells you to turn back and you keep moving forward anyway. And let's be honest, it's not easy. There will be days when that resistance feels overwhelming, when it seems like the weight of the world is pressing down on you, when you want to throw in the towel and walk away. But remember this, those moments are the defining moments. That's when you get to decide who you are. The easy choice is to let resistance win. But the true power lies in making the harder choice to show up, to take the next step, to refuse to give in. It's easy to think that success is built on one grand gesture, one big breakthrough, one moment of genius. But in reality, success is crafted in the smallest of moments. It's not the occasional burst of effort that changes everything. It's the daily habits, the routines you build, the seemingly insignificant actions that you repeat day after day. These are the building blocks of your future. What you do today, right now, in this moment, will shape who you become tomorrow. Too often, we underestimate the power of small actions. We look at the massive goals ahead of us, and the mountain seems so high that we don't know where to begin. But the truth is, it's not about reaching the summit in one giant leap. It's about taking that first step and then taking another, and another, and another. Every day, you get to choose the actions that will determine your trajectory. It's not the big decisions that make or break you. It's the little ones, the daily choices, the things you do without thinking that have the greatest impact over time. Think about it, how many of us struggle with the same things day after day? Procrastination, distraction, a lack of focus. These aren't random occurrences, they're the result of patterns that we've created through our daily habits. If you want to change your life, you have to change what you do on a daily basis. It's in those small habits that you either reinforce your current reality or start to reshape it into something greater. The key to making this shift is consistency. It's not enough to take action once in a while and expect change. It's the repetition, the commitment to showing up every single day that builds the momentum necessary for transformation. The results may not be immediate, and at times it might feel like you're not making progress at all. But over time, those small efforts compound. Just as drops of water wear away rock, your daily habits will gradually chip away at the obstacles in your life, revealing the path forward. The beautiful thing about habits is that they're within your control. You have the power to decide what you do every day, how you spend your time, how you invest your energy. When you choose habits that are aligned with your goals, you are setting yourself up for success. But the opposite is also true when you let bad habits slip in, when you allow distractions to take over. When you waste your time on things that don't matter, you are unknowingly pushing yourself further from the life you want to create. This doesn't mean that every habit has to be a monumental change. It doesn't mean you have to wake up at 4 a.m. and run a marathon every day. It means being intentional about the choices you make. It means asking yourself, what's the next small step I can take that will move me closer to where I want to be? It means choosing to read a book for 15 minutes rather than mindlessly scrolling through your phone, deciding to work for an extra hour when you'd rather relax, or choosing to eat something healthy instead of giving in to the temptation of junk food. It's these small, repeated actions that accumulate and make the difference between a life of complacency and a life of accomplishment. The power of daily habits is that they give you control. They allow you to take ownership of your day and ultimately your life. They transform you from someone who reacts to circumstances into someone who proactively shapes those circumstances. When you choose to build habits that serve you, you are building the future you want, brick by brick. And though the progress may seem slow at times, never forget that every single action you take is a step in the right direction. Those daily choices are what will eventually lead you to the person you're meant to become and the life you're meant to live. Setting goals is one of the most powerful tools you can use to shape your life. It's the act of drawing a map, charting a course, and deciding once and for all where you want to go. Without goals, you're like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly, tossed around by the tides of life. You may move, you may even make some progress, but it's all by chance. You are at the mercy of whatever happens around you. But when you set clear, purposeful goals, you give yourself a direction, a path that leads you toward the life you've envisioned for yourself. Too many people go through life without ever defining what they truly want. They live in a state of constant reaction, responding to the demands of others, to the latest crisis, to the distractions of the moment. They don't stop long enough to ask themselves, what do I really want? What is it that I am willing to fight for? And this is the tragedy. When you don't set goals, you don't take ownership of your life. You let circumstances own you. You let the world dictate your choices instead of you deciding where you want to go and how you're going to get there. But goal setting isn't just about dreaming big or having an idea of what you want in the future. It's about commitment. It's about making a decision, a firm decision, that your life will not simply be a passive experience, but an active pursuit. When you set goals, you're setting the stage for the person you are determined to become. It's about identifying the future you desire, then making a commitment to work toward it every single day. It doesn't happen by accident. No one ever reaches greatness by wishing for it. They reach it by setting specific, measurable, and attainable goals and dedicating themselves to achieving them. The key to effective goal setting lies in clarity. Too many people set vague goals. I want to be successful, or I want to be happy, but these are not goals, they're wishes. You cannot hit a target that you cannot see. You must define what success means to you. What is it that you truly desire? Is it a career change? A healthier lifestyle? A deeper connection with loved ones? Whatever it is, you must be specific about it. Break it down. Define what success looks like and set clear, measurable objectives that will guide your progress. But here's the thing, once you have those goals, you can't sit back and wait for them to fall into your lap. Goals require action. They require a relentless commitment to the process. It's not enough to say, I want to be healthier. You have to show up at the gym every morning. You have to put in the work. You have to change your habits day by day. It's in the small, consistent actions that the real progress happens. Goals demand focus and discipline, and they demand resilience in the face of setbacks. But it's not just about the big things. It's about the little wins too. When you set a goal, you create momentum. Each step you take, each small action that gets you closer to your goal builds upon the last. And as you achieve those small wins, you build confidence. You realize that you are capable of more than you thought. The process of setting goals and achieving them is like building a muscle. It gets easier the more you do it. You begin to trust yourself, to believe in your ability to take control of your life and shape your destiny. However, you will face challenges. There will be days when the goal seems impossible, when the resistance feels too strong, when the obstacles seem insurmountable. But this is where most people fail. They let the challenges stop them. They let the doubt, the discomfort, the failure, the fear take over. But let me tell you something, the true power of goal setting is in the pursuit, not the outcome. It's in the relentless drive to move forward, even when things get tough. The person who succeeds isn't the one who never faces failure. They're the ones who continue moving toward their goals, no matter how many times they fall, no matter how long the journey takes. Setting goals isn't a one-time activity. It's an ongoing process. It's about being willing to reassess, to refine, to adapt as you grow and learn along the way. But with every goal you set, every step you take, you are creating the future you want. You are actively shaping your life rather than leaving it to chance. That is the power of setting goals. It gives you direction, it gives you purpose, and it gives you the strength to keep going when the world would have you stop. Responsibility is a word that many people shy away from. It feels heavy, like a burden, something to avoid, something that demands too much. But what if I told you that responsibility is actually the key to unlocking your potential? That it's not something to fear, but something to embrace? Responsibility isn't about being weighed down by obligations or trapped in a life of endless duties. It's about owning your life, taking full control of your actions, and recognizing that the power to shape your destiny is in your hands. When you step into responsibility, you step into your power. You see, too many people spend their lives looking for someone else to blame. They point to circumstances, to other people, to the world around them and say, "It's not my fault. I couldn't help it." But here's the reality. The moment you stop blaming external forces is the moment you reclaim control. Responsibility means no longer looking outside yourself for answers. It means taking full ownership of who you are, and where you're going. It means realizing that your actions, your choices, your decisions determine the life you lead, not the world around you, not the people in your life, not the circumstances you find yourself in. Responsibility is liberating. It means that you are no longer a passive observer of your own life. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and you start being the creator of your future. It's easy to get caught in the trap of thinking that life is happening to you, that you have no control over the events unfolding around you. But the truth is, you are always making choices, and those choices are constantly shaping your reality. Responsibility asks you to be conscious of those choices. Taking responsibility means recognizing that you hold the power to change your life, regardless of the obstacles you face. It means standing tall, owning your actions, and understanding that every decision you make either brings you closer to or further from the person you want to become. It is through this ownership that you begin to shape your reality, to transform your challenges into opportunities, and to turn your dreams into tangible results. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a gift that empowers you to live with purpose, to take charge of your future, and to create the life you've always desired. So step up, take full responsibility, and watch how it transforms everything. You have the power. You are the one who can make it happen.